Welcome all to Marshall's Mike Podcast. We have a very special guest today. But before I introduce him, I want to kind of tell you what Marshall's Mike Podcast is about. We like to gather stories of business people, any type of stories actually in general, to get the word out to some people, and maybe they can learn one or two things as they listen to it and put it forward in their life. But today our special guest is a Central Coast legend, Carrol Pruett, formerly from Mid-State Bank. Hello, Carrol.
Good morning. Thanks for inviting me to come in.
You bet, you bet. What I like to usually start with is actually, where were you born, Carrol? What's up with where you lived early on?
Well, a little early on, I was born in Missouri. Not in a hospital, in a farmhouse.
Wow.
We central boot heel country down there in Missouri.
Okay.
But in about 1946, my dad decided that he was tired of being a sharecropper.
Okay.
And so he decided to move to California, where he thought there might be more opportunities for him, and that's how it began. We had an auction, sold a team of horses and an old tractor, and bought a 46 Plymouth.
Wow.
A trailer, put a mattress in it, and we headed on Route 66 for California and a better life.
Nice, nice.
That was my childhood,
Right.
early childhood.
Early childhood, right. As you got it more into your childhood, schools, how was schooling for you? How did you look at schooling?
Schooling, I went through about the third grade in Missouri and then came to California, so I started about the fourth grade there. Grammar school was a small school in Thousand Oaks, and then high school was Moore Park High, which is another very small high school, and then I couldn't ride the school bus to Moore Park. They quit running it, so I had to go to Oxnard High School,
Okay.
which was like 35 miles away. So we spent about 60 miles a day on a school bus.
On a tool bus.
Yeah.
What's
That-
a tool bus like? Let's describe that.
School bus with a little bitty, about 30 passenger one that they left overnight out in Thousand Oaks, so they didn't have to haul it all back in.
Wild.
Anyway, that was my high school. But living out in the country, Thousand Oaks, so far away from the high school, social activities, I didn't have much time for clubs or anything like that.
Right.
So I did get involved in the Future Farmers, so I was active in that.
Okay.
But time for sports, you just didn't,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
couldn't make it work. So
Right.
that was my high school days, mostly Future Farmers, and that was about it.
Cool. Now, you met your wife, Joan, early on.
Joan and I met in the fourth grade on the merry-go-round
Oh, my
at Caroll School. We didn't start dating right away, of course. So
Yeah.
yeah, but we knew each other going up through school, through high school, and so forth. And since it was a small community of Thousand Oaks, most all the kids all hung out together. So it was just kind of a group, bunch of people enjoying life.
Right.
And, we dated a little bit, maybe in high school, but then didn't. I went off to college, and then I was home for a spring, or I guess Christmas break, and she invited me to a dance, and we started dating, and
Okay.
it led on from there.
Right. How long you guys been married now?
That would be 68 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's been very instrumental in your
Much
business.
much more than probably most people are aware. I talked to Joan about two things I wanted to do. I wanted to get married, to get married, and I wanted to finish college.
Okay.
That was my goal in life at that point in time. She said, well, we can do both. So she was working at Bank of America at that time while I was up here going to school, and she said, I can transfer Bank of America up there, keep my job, and you can continue going to school. And that's what we did.
So she got into banking before you did.
She was in it way before I was.
Right.
Yeah, and she was responsible ultimately for getting me into banking later on in life.
Right. So what was your first, say, hustle, job? Was it in high school, grade school?
No,
more
way
college?
beyond grade school. I think probably my first, maybe I was 10 years old or something like that, was hoeing weeds for neighbors. So I did a lot of weed hoeing and that sort of stuff.
I can't say I've heard of that one. That's a great one.
Hoeing weeds for neighbors. Well,
It worked.
You had to get $1 or $2 every once in a while, you know, so forth. And the little neighbor ladies always had something like that. But my first job, I guess you'd call it that, I must have been maybe 13, 14 years old. I had just started high school, maybe 13. And I went to work as the bottle boy at a grocery store.
Okay.
Now, the bottle boy at a grocery store, because that's when everything had a deposit on it, and it was all in pop bottles.
Got you.
And so people returned those to the store. The grocer had to put them all back in cases and ship them back to, or let them be picked up.
Right.
So the bottle boy took those empty all the way. Everybody brought them in. You sorted them out,
Yep.
put them back in their crates, and picked them up. And that's how I got started in the grocery business.
Okay.
From being a bottle boy, I got to go inside, and then actually being a bag boy,
All right.
bagging groceries.
Yeah. I was one. Back in 1977, I worked at a Lucky Supermarket.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
That was a fun job.
You know, actually it is, because first thing that happens there is you get to interface with all those customers, you know, and so forth like that. You find out which ones you like and which ones you don't like.
Right.
And you learn to like the polite ones, the courteous ones. So I think that's a lesson that as a bag boy you learn early in life. You know,
You had
that
some good engagement with people.
courtesy pays off. Yeah.
Nice.
They weren't much for tipping in those days, but
Okay.
I got a lot of smiles.
There you go. I like how you say courtesy pays off.
It does.
That's
indeed.
a big thing.
Yeah.
Today's world, you know, we need more of that, I would say.
We could stand a whole bunch more.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and you were like working. When did you kind of start to think I need to, and what did you really get to work full time in and advance in your career?
Well, while I was going to Cal Poly, of course, Joan was working, but I picked up everything I could on a part-time basis. I cleaned a dentist's office at night. I fed cattle out at the feedlot out there
Wow.
sometimes. So between Joan and I, you know, we eked out a pretty good deal while we were going to college.
Right.
We took time off. She had our first child while I was going to Poly. And
Okay.
so I had to increase my outside activity while she was off.
Right.
But she didn't stay off very long. She went right back to work. Yeah.
Okay. What was the first time you got into the banking?
That was kind of by accident, because while I was going to Cal Poly, I was really planning on being an ag teacher.
Okay.
And long about my senior year, I got to looking around at the ag teachers and situation and determined maybe I didn't want to spend all my time in a classroom and so forth. So Joan worked at Bank of America, and next door to her office that where she ran, there was two Cal Poly grads who were the ag man for Bank of America, making ag credit loans and that sort of stuff. They kept after me and saying, "Hey, you really ought to think about going for one of the banks." So at that point in time, I started giving it some consideration, and they kept at me about it, and I thought, well, maybe I'll look at this. So just about the time I was graduating, I sent out my resume, and I got interviews with two different banks. One was Bank of America. They offered me a job down in El Centro, California.
Okay.
That's way down south.
That's way, yeah. Yeah.
Indian country.
And you're up here in Cal Poly area, San Luis Obispo.
No, that didn't sound good. So, but anyway, I got got an interview with a little bank over in Bakersfield called Greenfield State Bank.
Okay.
Oh, they offered me the same money as the other one, $350 a month. Wow.
Wow.
Pretty big money in those days. Anyway, I ended up taking the bank job in Bakersfield. They had 4 offices, and I started out doing their ag field work, crop inspections, appraisals, and that sort of stuff. But I started out early in the morning, because the Bakersfield can get really hot without air conditioning.
Sure.
And I didn't have an air-conditioned car to drive. They didn't believe in spending that kind of money. So I would get my work done early, and then I'd go into the branch where they'd given me a desk to work from.
Okay.
And the operations officer there, Lucille Finley,
Yep.
I'd offer. I said, "Well, Lucille, I got some time this afternoon. Can I help you somewhere?" She said, "Yeah, I got a cash shipment coming. Help me count that."
Okay.
Or, "I got a teller out today. Can you work on this window, do that," or so forth.
Right.
So that's how I got to the inside of banking.
Yeah, and then eventually, who was a person that helped? I read the book of yours, not up the whole thing yet, but I'm getting there. Who was the person that helped you get to this area for the banking?
That was one of those, I guess you'd call it a big leap of faith, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And one of the other people working at Midstate, I got acquainted with. He worked in one of the other offices downtown. Called me one day and asked me to meet him, and I did. And he told me a story. He said, "Well, I've heard that I found that they're starting a little bank over in Arroyo Grande, California, by San Luis Obispo."
1961.
Yeah, well, this was 1960 we were talking.
Okay.
It wasn't been approved yet.
All righty.
So he said, he said, "I've got a pretty good in with the state banking department. They know me now." And he said, "I think I'm going to get the first CEO job there." And he said, "If I did that, would you want to come with me to back to St. Louis?"
That was an easy one.
Oh. Bakersfield, 110 degrees,
right,
fog and weather.
Right.
We couldn't wait to make the move, so we moved over in 1960, and then 61 with Dave Vordermark, my mentor at that point in time.
Yeah. Who was the mentor?
Dave Vordermark.
Okay. He pretty much changed things going forward.
He actually did. He was a great guy, a great mentor, because he was one that would let you make a mistake and ask then what'd you learn from that.
Yeah.
So he was very good at that, and so I worked with him for 6 years, and then by that time we had 4 offices here on the Central Coast, and he decided to move back to Bakersfield and take the CEO's job of the bank that we had left that had grown there.
Okay.
And so I was hoping that I might be able to step into those shoes, and fortunately the board of directors let me do it.
Yep.
And so at age 29 I became a CEO of a bank.
Wow.
And then the rest of it, that's the rest of the story.
Right. Who would you say is a good, you said the other mentor, and then when you got over here, who kind of mentored you along? You know, I've had some great mentors in my life, and kind of taken a hold of them and really, started listening to them.
Well, one of the, after I was here, I mean, I had a couple of mentors before that, early life, that I consider pretty important.
Sure.
My scoutmaster.
Okay. I agree with that, man. My coaches, school teachers, I needed that.
Yeah, Scoutmaster was great. I learned so much from him. He was just a tremendous guy and taught me so much. And then I learned, about the outdoors too. So that was good. At the grocery store I worked at as a bottle boy, the owner there was just a super, super good guy and a great mentor, because he knew how to handle customers, how to treat customers, how to treat the employees.
Right.
And so I watched him and thought, that's the way it should be done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that stuck in my mind all my life about those two guys.
Nice.
At the bank, after I got here and after David left, and before that even then, the chairman of the board, Al McGuire, who was an investment banker in Santa Maria for for eons, was probably my financial mentor, if you would, helping me with financial decisions.
Yeah. Right. These kind of guys helped you, they coached you. They coached you along. Yeah. What did you do to keep kind of coaching yourself? Was there a book you were reading?
Oh my, yeah.
Daily newspapers? Or?
I
know you got a collection of typewriters. Was it typing? Was that your journaling style?
That became my hobby later on, restoring typewriters.
Okay.
But reading, I started reading a lot of management books in those days. Drucker and people, the old names that you might recognize from those years back and so forth. That was always good. And I got involved with the California Bankers Association. And so that was great because there was always a lot of additional workshop schooling. After I've been in banking about 6 or 7 years, there's a banking school at the University of Washington.
Okay.
Called the Pacific Coast School of Banking. You go 2 weeks during the summer, and then correspondence to 3 years.
Oh, that was good.
So that was kind of the
kept you polished.
After college, my master's degree, if you would, in banking was going to PCBS, and that helped immensely in strengthening my I guess, my management abilities as well as
Right.
being planning and banking, that sort of thing. So that was very helpful.
So I've looked at throughout my life mentors and teachers and stuff, and they've kind of helped me along and this and that. And then once you get going, let's say you're the guy in charge. What keeps you coachable? What keeps your spirit alive? Daily business that you do now. I know you have a handful of things. You've developed this whole neighborhood and so forth. But what keeps you going? What's your coachable?
Oh, well, before retirement, what keeps you going?
It could be Joan, right? Get out of the house.
Actually, she was pretty good about that. Yeah, what keeps you going? In my banking career, what kept me going there, I loved what I was doing.
Yeah.
Being able to help people, get a young couple that's buying their first house and helping them figure out a way to buy that house.
Yep.
Or helping a young guy buying his first car,
Okay.
Or a business guy that's struggling to, I need some more capital, or how am I going to make this work,
Sure.
and so forth.
So you got a lot of people coming to you now still.
That's much. I do
Right.
that a lot.
And that's
yeah.
how you're giving back, of course.
Well, you continue to do that. After retiring, what keeps you going then? Oh, just wanting to stay involved, staying active. I just couldn't turn it. I've read the Wall Street Journal every day for 65 years.
There we go. I remember back in the day, I'd be at my grandfather's office. He was a car dealer, and he's sitting there watching him do his thing, and up came the Wall Street Journal.
Yep, it was my go-to, and I still have coffee in the morning here and read my Wall Street Journal.
Yeah. What scared you the most to get into the business?
I don't think I ever had a fear of any one of those jumping into things like that. It just seemed like the right thing to do.
You felt comfortable.
Yes. No, never felt like I was stepping in over my head or making a mistake of making a move or anything like that.
Now, how did you guys get the capital to start a bank and all that? Because this was a brand new bank down here you were starting.
Well, it was interesting. The board had decided before Dave and I arrived, they had kind of their plan of action. They needed to raise the big sum of $500,000. That doesn't buy you a condo here anymore, but
no. Back then, that was a large amount of money.
And so, and they priced the stock. Mr. McGuire again said, we want this to be a stock that people buy and hold on to. So they priced it at $125 a share, which was a big chunk. And so, if you buy 10 shares, that's a pretty good chunk of money already here, in those days. And so they had a little struggle getting get that sold. Had about 300 when they were ready to open. So the board collectively went to one of our correspondent banks and borrowed $300,000 more to buy the rest of the stock. When the doors opened and the bank was successful immediately.
Well, I read in the book, you guys made profit after 2 months.
Oh yeah.
And in the 61, Arroyo Grande population was 3,200 people.
Yeah.
That's quite an achievement.
Well, you don't have any big overhead.
And then you guys went to 22 branches in the Central Coast?
Well, actually, we had 41.
41.
Yeah.
Okay.
When that book was written, we had 22.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Hey, you're going to sign that book too for me before I leave.
Okay. we did that. Yeah, that was how they got stock open, and then it became sought after that. It wasn't any trouble selling it. However, we never did issue any more stock. Our growth was all what you call internal growth. So it was only retained earnings and retained capital that grew the bank.
The banking business is a lot of buying and starting a bank and then selling the bank off, right? And you guys went into it with a mindset, we're going to make a local bank and we're going to keep it local and we're going to be the guys and run through it.
Yeah. Well, that was the intent all along. The problem being, as you grow and get larger and your shareholder base expands with more people buying the stock and it becomes a listed stock, then you get outside investors. Some of the hedge funds start buying, or the banking funds and so forth like that. So We would continually get offers from people wanting to come. Wells Fargo make an annual trip down to see us and said, "Are you ready to sell yet?"
Right.
No, the answer was always no from the board and myself.
Right.
However, when it gets to a big enough price, like when Rabobank came along throwing dollars out, when they got up to $35 a share, which was 4 times our book value,
Wow.
That's an unheard of price.
Yeah.
We had a fiduciary responsibility to show it to the shareholders because one of those says, "Hey, you got an offer like that, and you turned it down, and we could have made a lot of money." So
Right.
we had to put it to a vote. They voted 95% in favor of it.
Yeah.
So it was a good run. Did a lot for the community. A lot of people that put them through school, that
I
bought
bet.
their first house, that did all kinds of good things for a lot of folks. So
What a great feeling of accomplishment.
yeah, it was a sad moment because it was something we'd built and grown, but sometimes it comes around and you do it. And then all today's is more often than not
Right.
in the banking world and all other worlds right now.
Right.
But it was a little unheard of in those days.
Yeah. What's a word, motivation to yourself that you've used to grow? I mean, a word I could say was I learned early on from my grandfather going into the car business, "Hey, Marshall, the most important thing," and I know you'll agree with this one, but if you can think of another one, is being honest.
Oh, honesty is an ultimate one like that. Actually, it really boils down to kind of do unto others what you would do in your
Perfect. Perfect.
what you'd like them to do to you.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
treating people courteous,
Yeah.
with respect and dignity,
Yeah.
all of those things kind of blend together.
Customer
in there.
service, being attentive, looking at them in the eye, greeting them right away.
All of those things are so
Right.
important.
Shaking
not only
hands.
not only in business, just in personal relationships too.
Yeah.
That's
No,
how
100%.
That's how you build friends and
Yeah.
create goodwill.
Yeah. What's a different approach you guys think you might have had? I know when I was in the car business, we always were looking for the next edge before someone came up with it, the new idea, and what could we do different to stay ahead of the game of the competitors and such? Is there something special you guys did? I mean, everything was special. I get that.
Well, I didn't come up with the first idea, but we had the first drive-in banking window in San Luis County. Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
We had the first ATM. That was
Wow.
something that
You were ahead of the game.
One of our people and myself got involved in and got that early on. Fairly creative lending. We did a lot of construction lending, and there weren't a lot of lenders that did that.
Construction?
Because we had, my dad was a contractor later in life down
Okay.
there, so I kind of grew up around the building industry, and so I knew my way around that. And then some of our other lenders did. So we were heavy into that. Automobile financing, we did.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we are early on. The logo was low-cost auto loans and free checking.
Wow. Low cost auto loans and free checking.
Now, what more could you want?
What more could you want after
Yeah,
that one?
yeah.
You probably had a little dealings with Chuck Hubbard, seeing he was so far back in the car business as well.
Chuck was always a great information guy when I needed information about
Yeah.
what's going on in the auto industry.
Yeah, I always speak about him because I worked with Chuck from 2005 to 2016, I think it was. Man, he
sure.
really helped me on my ego. Customer service, of course, was pretty natural for me. Talking with people, I love that. But just what a great guy.
It's what it's all about.
Yep. How do you define success today?
Wow. Success today. It's hard because you look around you and if you read what you read in the news and so forth, success is having another digital program that's successful, or something with artificial intelligence that's setting the world on fire, and all those sort of things.
Family, of course.
Yeah, that to me, that's a success. But I think the success, depending on what you're talking about, if you're talking about people in a working situation, it's finding a niche or the job that you like and enjoy, and have the opportunity to use your talents that you have there.
Yeah.
If you're talking about success in a family, it's one of keeping a family intact in today's world, and doing things together, having the family unit means something, and so forth. Like that.
Yeah.
Success in a community is
Big one.
Being being a part of the community.
Yeah. Which has been very instrumental. And you give us some examples.
Well, contributing to the community, working with the Chamber of Commerce to get things done, helping other merchants make do well, contributing to the service organizations, who do so much for the various communities.
Right.
And of course the churches that do so much for communities. Those are all things that that are successful. That success means a lot to those happening.
Right. What are I kind of developed a routine when I was full-time work. I had a plan every day, every morning before I went to work. I worked out, I walked, I swam, or what have you, and then I listened to some coaching tapes on my drive to work, because I had about 20 minutes. What are things that you do right now, still today, that's, this is what I have to do to get my day going? And
actually, I really don't do that.
Okay.
I just get up and go, get up, get around, get going, and so forth like that.
Well, so you
Yeah, but when the kids were smaller, Joan, I was a fairly early person, so I'd get around. I'd like to go in the office about 7 in the morning and so forth. But I didn't have, and I've never gone to a gym in my life.
Okay. Well, you sure look like it, man.
Well,
you're in great shape.
Okay, I have a little weight machine out in the garage and so forth like that. And no, I really never had a planned routine. Even my days weren't specifically planned. Being flexible, I found that after you get to be a CEO and you can't do those. I have to do this every day type thing. You have to be available for whatever's happening out there, and you do long range planning. I've got this meeting to go to where I have that to attend to. But as far as daily plans, I never did that. But you spoke about something else that I think is really important here. You mentioned about exercise and staying in shape and so forth like that. I didn't do that very well for the first many years of my life. Kind of ironically, when my son was in high school, he started running cross country and playing other sports too, but cross country. He and I went up to San Luis once, I recall, to run a father-son cross-country race. I came in dead last.
But you ran it.
I ran it.
You were there.
So I said, hey, we can't do this. So I started jogging, and I started running. I started losing weight. I started enjoying it. And we lived out in the country there, and there's a 3-mile loop around the branch school out there. So I did that 3 miles every morning, and another guy lived down the street there. He'd join me. We'd run around there, and so I did those long runs. And finally, I started doing some of the 10Ks and other things around here, up and down the coast. And then finally, I said, "What the heck? I'm going to do a marathon." So I did a couple marathons in my 40s, I guess, maybe 50s, somewhere like that.
So we're going to switch gears here a little bit, Carol. I know I had one early on in my life, and it set a different direction in my thought process. I bought a coffee shop in Squaw Valley, and when I purchased it, it was rolling. Business was great. It was snowing, and then all of a sudden the snow stopped, and then all of a sudden the people stopped coming in, and I didn't save my money for it. So I'm like, oh no, what do I do now? And I to get it back into play, I was well in with my grandfather. It was just about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from Tahoe at Jackson. He says, well, we need to get you down here again and see the banker, and you're going to tell her you screwed up, you didn't save your money, and can you help me get through through the next part of it. What kind of, like you were like, you know what I mean?
I don't really feel like I ever got myself in that position where it was anything I really had to dig my way out of and so forth like that. There were challenges, you know.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, what should we do about this or what should we do about that? But never anything that I felt that was a major setback or a holdup or anything like that. It was always able to see where we're going in the and you know.
Well, there's times when business gets tough.
Oh, well now, okay. From an economic standpoint, and personally, and from a banking standpoint, the business standpoint.
Yeah.
And when we started, in 1961 in business here, we went through the United States went through about 4 or 5 recessions. The Central Coast didn't really feel those because we were kind of isolated, halfway between San Francisco and Los Angeles. And so we kind of skated through those. Things didn't really come to a halt, or business didn't drop dead or so forth like that. So we skated through all those business issues. You had to hunker down a little bit, you know, you conserved your cash and those sort of things. But we never had major crises or events that said, okay, my God, what are we going to do now?
Right.
Like that.
Right.
So, and from a personal standpoint, same way, we've always moved along at a steady pace, nothing extraordinary, but a steady pace.
Yeah. You're a little frugal. Am I correct on that?
Sorry?
Frugal?
No.
You know why I say that?
No, I'm cheap.
Okay. What year's your truck you're still driving?
That's a 98 Dodge that I paid $2,300 for.
That's great.
About 10 years ago.
That's awesome.
Actually, I think if looking back, that came because, growing up in the Depression era, born in 1937, living on a farm where we didn't have money, we had groceries and we had crops and we ate well, but never any cash. And so my folks, by necessity, had to be pretty frugal. And that proved through. My mother was very much that way because she had to make do with so many things growing up in the Depression and so forth. So I think I came by that naturally, and it just stayed with me. There's always something I really kind of kept my eye on, investing, buying, and so forth like that. And yeah, I don't need a $60,000 truck that's got big wheels and all this and so forth. That would haul
the 98 Dodge takes you the same place, doesn't it?
Yeah. And no, the kids, everybody else said, Dad, you got to have a new truck. No, I don't need a new truck. Yeah.
You have a classic car though.
Well, that was a little unusual. Yeah, I do have a very unusual 1961 Corvette. The significance of that is that 1961 was the year that the bank was formed. And I came by that Corvette by the generosity of a board of directors and the Mid-State Bank, who on my retirement put me in that Corvette.
Well, obviously they saw what you did, what you created. I mean, how many jobs you've given people and how instrumental you are in the community and so forth. It was well deserved.
Yeah, well, thanks.
Yeah.
But it's a fun car, fun to drive.
Yeah. I'd love to take it out with you one day.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm looking forward to you riding your Sunbeam.
Oh, that's right. I was going to bring it today.
Yeah.
Darn it.
Yeah.
I'll get it here.
Okay.
I'll get it here. I got a 66. Yeah. That's right. You had just read something about it when I came over and visited.
I had read about Sunbeam, yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed going to your office too. That was fun because of the...
Well, that's one of the interesting things. I got, I collect a lot of banking books, banking memorabilia and that sort of thing. But somebody brought an old typewriter and left it in my office, said, "Dutch, you might want this." So I took it home, and I had a shop out when I lived out in Wasna, so I cleaned it up and got it working and had a little fun with it. And then somebody else dropped off an adding machine. Somebody else dropped one of those old hand crank calculators, that you run like that. And so I started collecting those, and before I knew it, I had about 40 or 50 machines and filling up in my shop building, and also my office up there with the nicer ones I've kept in my office.
Yeah.
So I've got those, and I'm in the process now of trying to get, shouldn't say get rid of, yeah.
I get it.
Okay.
They get it.
Trying to downsize that, and I end up giving them away whenever I can find somebody that would like to have an old typewriter, adding machine, and so forth. So, and a few of them are still working like that, but they're fun to. It was just a fun thing to do.
The funnest
And,
thing
a couple of old early computers.
I was just going to get into that. I remember seeing that. It was the first computer.
Well, it was a Apple. Let's see, Jobs had it there, and it was one of the first ones we had in the bank, and ran some of the, not the banking mainframe stuff, but some of the subsidiary things that the bank did. We ran on that machine.
I mean, what a difference now, right?
Yeah, well, that would have been in the 80s. Yeah.
Yeah, and now what do you have to, have to do your banking, the online? I mean, as you progressed, you saw some, definite, serious technology take place.
The technology changes so much. I mean, for instance, when we opened the bank, we didn't have a photocopier. They weren't there yet. So to make copies of anything, you just put carbon paper in your typewriter and typed it all for copies and so forth.
For the copy of it.
Yeah.
Right.
And checks now, are digitally transmitted and so forth.
Yes.
Checks in those days, at the end of the day, we would figure out how many checks we had on Bank of America down the street, and they'd figure out how many they had on us. We'd decide who had the difference and make up the cashier's check for the difference, and then meet down at the coffee shop and change checks.
Yeah.
That was a major transaction, and now it's just
Oh,
all
man.
in the sky.
It blows me away.
The telephones was still, to make a long distance call, you had to dial the operator in those days. You couldn't make it.
You couldn't, okay.
You picked up the phone and told us, you want to call so-and-so, so-and-so.
Yeah. What was the first phone number the bank had?
Bang, 805-489-4299.
Okay.
Our first phone number in Arroyo Grande, or for our house phone, 489-5867.
I love that you remember it.
Only it wasn't 489, it was Hunter 9.
Hunter 9.
HU.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You got quite the memory.
Only of certain important things like phone
numbers?
I tend to forget a lot of other things. A little bit that comes with age too.
Right. Going through your life, I know the community has been a big part of you giving back and so forth and so forth. Was there some kind of community thing that helped you shape more to your direction? Someone approached you, or there was some kind of thing somebody came and said,
I don't think that it changed direction or anything like that. No.
Okay.
No.
They kind of got involved with you to help them as well, though, and together you guys kind of moved into a direction where you could help other people, of course.
That's about it. We didn't purposely. No, I don't think so. No, I don't remember any specific instance like that.
Mm-hmm. You've been doing business a long time. Right now, if you were mentoring, your son's in the business with you, correct?
Well, yes, he and I did a couple construction projects and have a commercial building. Yeah.
Right. And then I didn't study your daughter. How many kids do you have?
I have a daughter and a son. Terry is here locally. She and her husband is one of the farms the field right across the street here, in fact.
Oh, really?
Part of the Pismo Oceano Beneficiary Exchange. Vardic had my daughter Terry, or
Okay.
Teresa. And actually at one time she had a little bit of a construction business too, like my son did. She had a company called Pink Tool Belts.
Pink Tool Belts?
Yeah. She purchased a company that had tools for girls.
I love it.
And it was the internet, and then she had some sold through different things. But she was on Amazon for many years, and she kind of drifted away from that and finally sold the business and so forth. But her claim was that her grandfather was also a builder, and we've done other builders, so she wanted to get in the building business too. But she didn't want to go actually doing building.
Okay.
So she's very active in the community. So
Right.
forth. We're fortunate we have grandkids living close by, and
That is great.
They're frequently here, and it's been a great community to live in.
Yeah, definitely. What, in businesses you've been around a long time, and what is a piece of advice if someone was to come to you right now and say, what's a good piece of advice I can get from you, Carol? I appreciate it, and what would it be?
Well, if you're in a business, first the thing you've got to look at the financial aspects of it, because that's what's driving it. If you can't make the financial end of it work, well, you've been there. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
You got to have that. So you have to have a financial plan and how you're going to do it. You can't just do it on a whim. I think I'd like to do it to make that work. But it's interesting. This morning there was a great Wall Street Journal article about customer service, and how there's more and more complaints about customer service than it's ever been in the past. So no matter what type of business in, I think the first thing I'd tell you, if you're going to go in business, whether it's a retail business here, or whether it's something on the internet, or AI, or whatever.
Restaurants, grocery stores, everything.
Customer service has to come first if you're going to be successful. You can't screw the customers up, and it can't be just at the front end, it's got to be at the back end of what you do too. Just because you're really nice to the customer when you sold them this, you better be nice to the customer when there's a problem with it, and you better help him fix it promptly, so forth, like that. And I think that's a systemic problem we're seeing everywhere right now.
Oh, 100%.
But I'd have to give that advice immediately to somebody.
I agree.
No matter what business it is, or what service you're offering.
It doesn't matter, right? It's funny. It seems like people today I've almost gone to places and I feel like I'm doing their job.
Well,
questions they ask, or so forth. I've gotta,
and they want you to go in the chat box to solve your problem,
right?
And it gets highly frustrating.
It is. I mean, it's frustrating when you're trying to have an intention with someone, and they're busy talking to someone else instead of you, and you're waiting and so forth.
I was at a grocery store the other day, and I was just blown away because the checker continued to look at her phone and play with her phone while she was checking me out. I don't know whether that's acceptable or not, but if I were the store manager and caught her doing that, it wouldn't be around very long.
No, it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
It's kind of a cancerous situation.
But I see that sort of thing happening. I watch gardeners come through. They're, instead of weeding out here or doing something, ever so often they're looking at their phone and
a lot of time could be spent more maybe on some things that are going to be productive and so forth. I go through my grandfather's stuff a lot, and being a car dealer, he actually did it's an opposite, I guess you'd call it, of a service tech. So the service tech comes in, it's 8 o'clock shift, right? He takes 10 or 15 minutes to talk with the guys or whoever about what he did, gets his coffee. Then he'd go back to the work order and see what his work is for the day. And of course, those trips to get parts, instead of maybe getting all the parts up front for all your work you have, each job you go back to the parts, come back, talk to the parts guy for so long. And he did a graph of actually how many hours of productivity and how many it did. It was just classic. It's interesting. And what do you get on the computer now? I know you do phone well.
No, I still have a PC on.
Right.
And I actually now have a laptop also.
Okay.
I'm not very good at it.
Yeah.
I use it for communications. I do it for little research now and then and so forth. Looked up your website and found out all about you.
Yeah?
Yeah, I know everything in the world about you now.
What do you think?
We'll talk about that later.
Okay. Give me a few pointers. I'd love it. I mean, I've always loved hanging out with people who've been, in different areas and such.
The computer, from that standpoint, and from an information standpoint, is, if you use it properly, it's great. It really is. About that.
Right.
But, I'm lost without my phone like everybody else is,
Sure.
and so forth like that.
Sure.
Checking my text messages. And I found out early on that text messages really did work, because Brent and I were doing some building stuff and so forth. And, rather than trying to running down my phone, I could text him right quick, where's the plan for this? Or when's that sub showing up or something like that.
I remember in the old days, you and I had to go find a payphone.
I can remember on business trips, mind you made sure that you spotted where the payphone was, and between here and San Francisco, we had a couple stops, so I always knew where the payphone was.
And we had to have a map.
Yeah. It's interesting because I just found my USA Atlas the other day that was in our motorhome, and every state's in there. And I was going to throw it out, and I thought, no, that is so fascinating to read. Open that thing up and look at the little streets and the towns and where you are or what you're doing and that so forth like that.
Yeah.
It's great. You can't buy a map in a service station anymore?
Nope. Looked the other day. That's so funny you say that.
Well, my brother just came.
I forget why I was doing. I wanted to see. I don't remember what it was, but no go.
Yeah.
MapQuest.
Yep.
Google Map.
Yeah. One of the ladies that rents from us up there was going to take a trip through Oregon and Washington, and asking what she should see is taking her two younger children with her, teenagers, I guess. And I said, well, you need a map to, and so she came back and she said, well, I can't find a map. So I found one of my old ones and gave it to her, and she talked about how the kids looked at it and figured out where all they were going to go.
Yeah.
We're missing something, I think.
Right. Yeah. Carol, tell us a couple interesting stories that maybe your kids don't know or your buddies don't know, or something that's really excited you. And
I think everything we've done is the kids all know about. We've done different things and so forth like that. A couple things that we have done that was really interesting after. Doing the stuff with my son and getting into running. Then my daughter decided that I shouldn't slow down any, so she said, "Let's do some hiking trips and so forth." And my son went along on the first one. We went over and did El Capitan at
oh wow,
at Yosemite.
Yosemite,
yeah.
I've never been.
Yeah, went up there, did the ladder trail up the top and so forth like that. That was a good outing.
That's a good distance.
A couple years later, we went and hiked up Whitney, up and back in a day.
Okay.
Yeah, and did that. Let's see, what else Terry and her husband and I and Pat and Dana Cusack.
Okay.
We
know them well. Great people.
Went down to we went hiked down the Grand Canyon and camped in the bottoms for 2 days and came back out.
Okay.
A few years later, then we went to Peru and hiked the old religious trail, or the old Inca trail, to Machu Picchu.
Wow.
So she's always after me to keep in shape.
Sure. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, what you do some walking today and such things like that? Or?
Not as much. I'm still in fairly good shape, but
I mean, you're in amazing shape.
I'm not in hiking shape right now. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, I've got, of all things, a sore little toe.
A sore toe, little one.
Yeah.
That's a leverage toe. Those are kind of hard.
Yeah. Anyway,
give us a funny story. Give us a funny
story. I really don't.
Maybe it could have been in the banking. You were joking around with your partner. Or...
Okay. Well, let's see. Somebody reminded me the other day of a funny thing that happened to me. I was flying out of the San Luis airport and left my car running.
You left your car running?
Yeah. had to call somebody and go back up and shut it off.
Did you really? You already flew out and everything? Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's classic.
Yeah, so
that's easier to do in today's world too with these new cars. It's like you don't even hear them.
This is an old car that,
Yeah.
you know, but it was something you could still park in front of the airport too.
Right, right.
It wasn't that crowded and so forth.
Share us something share us a story. Perhaps it could be giving to someone, helping someone now, something that you see that is really important and was important to you back in the day.
You know, there's so many of that kind of thing. Particularly in the banking world, because so many people became successful that you watched them grow and and helped them get where they were and so forth, like that. Yeah. I think there's just so many of those. I really can't. I mean, I could pick some, but it probably wouldn't be proper to tell you about.
So there's some of those stories
about how they got, how they got started, or.
I mean,
well, I tell you what. One of the fun things that I ended up doing as a banker was being a mediator too.
Right.
Business partners, disagreeing about doing what and how and who gets what out of here and so forth like that. I think because I had helped them along or helped one of them, they'd say, "Hey, Carol, we need to talk to you." So they were up to my office in the conference room here. They're okay, and get them to open up about, well, he's drawing too much out, or we want to go to here, but he doesn't want to do that, or this sort of, or spousal problems too. I did my share of counseling of that too, because they're arguing over finances. Well, who to talk to about your finances but your banker,
right?
So forth like that. Yeah.
Carol, if someone was moving into town, first time here, visited a couple times, want to plant their feet down, how important is the bank?
In today's environment, important, extremely. However, also in today's environment, everything can be done online. So it's difficult sometimes to convince people that they should do that. But if they are so inclined, it's a great way to find a local community bank, because they do know what's going on in the community. They can help you with advice. They can tell you where to live, what to buy, where the schools are, all the important things like that, because most all banks want their local branch manager, even though it's a major bank, they want their local branch manager to be a part of their community.
Yeah. Important to go in and introduce yourself.
Yeah. And it's not just the community banks anymore. I'm an old banker, so I hesitate to give them credit for it. But the credit unions, local credit unions, are doing a good job in being involved in the community.
Coast Hills here, Cesslock, and so forth.
Yeah, those are the type of things. But yes, if you have a community bank in your community, it's not a bad idea to get acquainted with them.
Right.
But it's so easy anymore to just pick up the phone and open an account with somebody else somewhere else, and do everything online with all of that. We don't write checks, and we're talking.
I still do. I just sent 3 of them out this morning.
and we don't use much cash anymore, because there's some merchants that won't even take cash. So forth. So, but it's a good question. It's important to know your banker. As a banker to know you is also important too. And if you can establish that relationship, it'll pay off.
Yeah. In meetings, like we in the car business, even in the restaurant business, I've been doing mostly. It's important to get people together, hear all sides, right? Kind of come to an agreement what you're going to do, and try it out. And let's put it out there and see what happens. And maybe we have to reconvene and do it differently the next time. Boy, it sure would be nice, I think, if we did that now.
Would help a lot, wouldn't
it? Yeah, this divide, this anger and such.
I guess the thing that concerns me most about those disagreements today is the disagreements that we have on the political level, because we're stuck. We can't go anywhere until we get get some compromises or middle roads somewhere on these
Right.
things.
Well said.
And that, that's true in all the businesses
Yeah.
out there too. But that was some of the really good pieces of my business life out there, doing those sort of things, just helping folks out. I guess I enjoy that a lot.
Yeah. Carol, you've been an amazing. I like too that you basically had 51-year job at the bank. About right?
Well, no, see, it wasn't quite that. I did work 50 years in banking.
50 years in banking.
Yeah, because I stayed when Rabobank, we merged with them. I stayed on their board for.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
3 years.
Right, but in the banking,
Yeah.
still, that's a task.
That was.
Yeah. I kind of try to do a little bit of everything and get bored with it and need a new challenge. Boy, this has been a challenge for me. It's all this digital, all this Instagram, and that's just not my forte. But I'm enjoying this part a lot. When I meet people, I get to talk and listen to their ideas and their lives and what happened, and then we share it out to the people, and hopefully they get one or two things.
Well, you need to share things like that. I think I've shared with you briefly my Christmas letters to my kids and grandkids and so forth like that. I try to impart each year some valuable lesson that I learned in life, I guess you'd call it, or some advice that I learned to them. I started out doing just with grandkids, and the older ones said, "Hey, we'll include us too." So, they all look forward for my annual.
Well, we can give them a copy of this. That would be a pretty good. Since Christmas is around the corner,
it might work. Yeah,
I think it will work, and I think it'll be very educational. And the thing is too that they're going to share it with their kids. Those kids share it with their kids, and then if everybody takes it, your children, you, and their kids, and shares it, it works.
It's so important to see that the cultures are continued. The legacies are continued, and when you see somebody that does that, or a family that does that, and so forth, you see how proud they are of it, and so forth. That is so meaningful.
Yes.
And so I strongly encourage it. And what you're doing here to promote that sort of thing, I think is really a step in the right direction.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that.
It's really, really important.
It is. I think family gatherings are huge. Everybody gets together.
Extremely important. Family is everything.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah.
Well, this has been a nice setting. We got the crows. We've got some tractors cruising around. This is just fitting as ever.
Well, this is
we're at your home here.
Yeah, this is a little. Arroyo Grande is kind of a special community because it's still got. Can you walk on a sidewalk out here with your dog and then look across the fence and see a field with a tractor harvesting out there, or the guys cutting cilantro and putting it in boxes to ship off around the world.
Yeah, it's still a big part, man. Like you said, you'll drive through somewhere where you wouldn't even think there would be, like here. Yeah. You wouldn't think there'd be a farm or something growing or whatever.
And as a community, I think some of the things we've talked about here this morning, the cultures, the cohesiveness and so forth like that. That's what makes the community makes them really important.
Well, Carol, this has been a pleasure.
It's been my pleasure.
I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed going to your office and learning more about some things that you shared with me, and I think that's if we keep doing this, we keep sharing stories. And
well, maybe I should drop one of those typewriters off so you can type this stuff up on a real typewriter.
I can't even type on a computer, man.
Instead of doing it on your computer.
I didn't do real good typing back in high school. To this day, I still use a pen and paper for my to-do list, and I cross it off when I'm done because I feel self-worth there a little bit more than just going to my phone and such.
I fill up a lot of yellow pads.
Yeah, yellow pads, exactly.
Still use a lot of yellow pads.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, if we all get something out of this, that's what it's all about. Here at Marshall's Mic, you can reach out to us, marshallsmic.com, our Instagram. This will also go on to the YouTube channel, Spotify. We're also getting a little bit into advertising businesses. That's been starting to really take off. I think if we all as a community get tons of business stories too of what they do, it could be any type of business, and share it, we're all going to be a little better off take our time, right, and enjoy and have good eye contact, shake hands, and say hi to people when you walk by them, and give good customer service. Good deal. You got anything else to share?
No, enjoyed it, and wish you a lot of success in your venture.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you all. Appreciate this. Let's have a good day or night, whatever time it might be for you.